want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Why? How much can you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight.
Wait, let me start earlier.
This is where the people at the top of the ladder live. The upper crust. The ultra-rich. This is the South Bronx, home to America's poorest congressional district. There are 700,000 people in this district. Almost 40% of them live in poverty.
If we try to go down the path where we put the government in the place to equalize the results of people's lives, where we try to equalize outcomes, we'll all be more equally miserable. Rather, let's focus on equality of opportunity.
My mom used to say to me, son, it don't matter where you begin. What matters is where you end. You live in the United States of America. And that's something that I think is an inherently moral thing about America. It gives you a chance to make it.
Much of what they say is about providing opportunity to make money to everybody equally. That's what they would argue about. That it doesn't seem to accept the possibility that if you're poor enough and your schooling is bad enough, that you don't really have an opportunity to compete.
Well, you know, I stayed with my mother at one particular time in New Brunswick, New Jersey. We lived 7 deep in a 1-bedroom apartment, no hot water.
My story is really can inspire people because we start from nothing into something. I mean, we don't have nothing. Sometimes we don't have food to eat. That's why we put our name to fight in boxing.
So I was staying at Cut's house. You know, I come from a really poverty-stricken area, and when I came to live with Cut's, they live in a 14-room Victorian mansion. And I first come here, I said, wow, I could rob these white guys, these white motherfuckers. They ain't hip. And I think, I'm not knowing this guy been around the world a bunch of times. I never knew he was like me. He was from a bad neighborhood. He was a street kid like me. And then one day he used to say, listen, you have the chance to change your life, your family's life. You could be something very special. Don't you want to be champion? You could be champion of the world. And I didn't pay no attention to it. He said, really? You could be champion of the world. You could devastate the world.
He wanted to be humble. He could have had a big home. He drove a little old car in his younger days trying to be humble. But they think you don't have nothing. People don't respect you when you look like you don't have no money. So I got to buy diamonds. I got to be the heavyweight champion. I got to have a Rolls Royce. So when I pull up to that other black man with a Rolls Royce, hey, my brother, come on down to the Muslim temple today. I want you to hear the sermon of Allah. Well, he owns a pretty car. Where that watch come from? Oh, my man. Come on over. And they listen. You got to have something.
We can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time.
To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good in writing because you have never written before.
Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft.
If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time.
Don't cry to give up, cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain, you already hurt. Get a reward from it.
Now if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not point the finger saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Because every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature. Now!
I'm going to show you how great I am.
And the prophecy read that one day, like the phoenix arose from the ashes, that a boy would be born unto a family in the slums. This boy would go on to use the knowledge he gained while fighting for survival in his streets to become a great leader. And in time, that boy would grow to become king!
From Sarangani Province, Philippines, Manny Pacquiao!
Pacquiao is giving him a lesson here. Did he really let them go there? And a right hand is completely outboxing, and this is unbelievable. He is still the pound-for-pound king.
Pacquiao has been in the sport for 20 long years. He is an 8-time world champion and will someday be in the Boxing Hall of Fame. He fought in this era's most exciting fights, bringing an aggressive, risk-taking style that made every fight a drama in itself. He knows the ruthlessness of boxing better than anyone.
Manny Pacquiao's first loss since 2005.
If you're a fighter, truly a fighter, then you get back up. You fight again.
I don't care who it is, he'll get in there with anybody. And he just comes out with this big smile and he's just waving at everybody, and it's like...
I always said, you never know when the next Muhammad Ali's gonna walk through your door. This little Filipino kid comes up to me and I said, wow, can this kid fight? Manny Pacquiao is the best thing that ever happened to me. Why do I fight? Because it's God's will.
My street friends were my family. We all knew no one was going to give us anything. We wanted anything, we had to take it. By the time I was 12 years old, I was arrested over 38 times. My mother, she never imagined that her boy would make it out of Brownsville. I was the youngest heavyweight champion of the world. Always angry and fighting, losses. How did this happen? At the time, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. This is my story, my mistakes, my heartaches, my joy, my sorrow, my gift, my life. While I'm in the dressing room, my gloves are laced up. I'm breaking the middle of the glove so my knuckle could pierce through the leather. The closer I get to the ring, the more confidence I get. Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god.
Look at me. I'm really okay. Trust me. Everything's gonna be fine. You met me at a very strange time in my life.
With your feet on the air and your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it. Yeah. Get to the collapse that there's nothing in it, and you'll ask yourself, where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind?
My mom used to always tell me, Floyd, you're special. You're different from the other kids. I never knew what she meant. I never knew what she meant. She said, you'll see one day. You know, you'll see one day what I mean. One day you'll see.
Once I'm in the ring, I'm a god. No one could beat me.
Appreciate Mayweather more every time you see him.
Mayweather does is box. Outside the ring, money might talk. But when that bell rings, it's showtime.
Floyd Mayweather wants to be, you must watch TV. When the guy said, tonight I'm paying, I want to see Mayweather lose. Keep paying. Got another guy say, I'm paying to see Mayweather win. Keep paying. Love me or hate me, you're gonna watch me. Love me or hate me, you're gonna watch me.
Floyd Money
It will be a killer and a chiller and a thriller when I get the gorilla in Manila.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cassius Marcellus Clay. He's young, he's handsome. They know it.
I can pound a drink of water and kill a dead tree. Don't mess with Muhammad Ali.
I've done something special. I've wrestled with an alligator. I tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail.
I'm as confident as I say, and I'm better than I say I am.
I'm a poet, I'm a prophet, I'm the resurrector, I'm the savior of the boxing world. If it wasn't for me, the game would be dead.
Who would bet on flying paddles and beating me? Who would bet on Ernie Terrell beating me? I told you I was floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see.
Last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick. I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
The only thing that makes Muhammad Ali like other fighters is the fact that he went on way too long.
I don't have to be what you want me to be. I'm free to be what I want to be and think what I want to think, right?
Took a glass and they felt it kind of traced around the glass so he had a circle, and then he drew in continents. And then he nudged me and he pointed at it. He said, I used to be champion of all that.
Where I'm a heavyweight champion. And I'm not just gonna be ordinary heavyweight champion.
I saw Sonny Liston a few days ago, Cassius.
Ain't he ugly?
He's too ugly to be the world champ. The world champ should be pretty like me. Well, he told me to bet my life that you wouldn't go 3 rounds.
Well, if you want to lose your money, then bet on punch.
The time may have come to say goodbye to Muhammad Ali, because very honestly, I don't think he can beat George Foreman.
This chump has got everybody scared. Scared of what? Nothing to be scared of. Scared of what? You ain't used to no black man, and mainly no boxer having no sense. I'm not just a boxer. I'm taught by Elijah Muhammad. I'm educated. Even Oxford University, your biggest seat of learning, offered me a professorship in philosophy and poetry to come here to teach. I'm not just an ordinary fighter. I can talk all week on millions of subjects, and you do not have enough wisdom to corner me on television. You do not have enough. You're too small mentally to tackle me on nothing that I represent.
Maybe he can pull off a miracle. But against George Foreman, so young, so strong, so fearless.
You've been watching me train, you watch me dance, and it looked better than I did 10 years ago. Right. Don't talk that stuff out my legs ago. I want to train 20 rounds a day. They won't let me. That's right.
I predict that tonight somebody will die at ringside.
Are they going to die? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Some people listen to themselves rather than listen to what others say. These people don't come along very often. But when they do, they remind us that once you set out on a path, even though critics may doubt you, it's okay to believe that there is no can't, won't, or impossible. They remind us that it's okay to believe impossible is nothing.